Oscar Zeta Acosta was an attorney, a politician, an author, and an activist in the Chicano movement of the 1960s. He was born on April 8, 1935 in El Paso, Texas, and then raised in San Joaquin Valley near Modesto. When Acosta was young, his father was drafted into the army during World War II, forcing Acosta to take care of his family. Right after he finished high school, 17-year-old Acosta enlisted in the Air Force and after 4 years of service was honorably discharged. During a tour with the military in Latin America, Acosta converted to Protestantism and became a Baptist missionary to a leper colony. Following his discharge, Acosta attended Modesto Junior College and then continued on to San Francisco State University, where he first began writing. After graduating, he went to San Francisco Law School and passed the state bar exam in 1966. Acosta married twice. His first wife was Betty Daves during the years 1956 to 1963, and his second was to Socorro Aguiniga from 1969 to 1971.
As a lawyer, he started at an anti-poverty agency called East Oakland Legal Aid Society. Later, he moved to East Los Angeles, where he influenced the Chicano movement and created controversy as an activist attorney. Acosta participated prominently in legal cases that addressed political, social, and educational injustices against Chicanos. He frequently met conflict with the judicial system, from which he gained many supporters but also gained many political enemies. Acosta would defend Chicano group and activists like Brown Berets member Carlos Falafasova and other members of the East Los Angeles Chicano community. Because Acosta defended Falafasova, the LAPD gained a dislike towards Acosta because the LAPD considered the Brown Pride movement more dangerous than the Black Panthers.
Acosta was renowned as an author as well for two autobiographies, The Autobiography of a Brown Buffalo in 1972 and The Revolt of the Cockroach People in 1973. Both books are acclaimed as major contributions to the Chicano literary renaissance. The Brown Buffalo is Acosta's reference to himself and his life story. The Cockroach People were what Acosta referred to as the Chicanos. Acosta compared the cockroaches' traits of unimportance and often being overlooked to the Latin community.
In the summer of 1967, Acosta found a good friend within Hunter S. Thompson. Thompson wrote many literary pieces about Acosta. As a result of Acosta's involvement in the Chicano movement, Thompson wrote the Rolling Stone article Strange Rumblings in Aztlan, which was a vivid description of the barrio's unjust, violent atmosphere and the murder of LA Times columnist Ruben Salazar. The most famous book by Thompson about Acosta was Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, which eventually turned into a movie starring Johnny Depp and Benicio del Toro.
In 1974, while on a trip to Mexico, Acosta disappeared. Acosta's son Marco was the last person to talk to Oscar. His body has not been found, and it has been accepted that Acosta had died. According to Thompson's obituary of Acosta, called Fear and Loathing in the Graveyard of the Weird, the Banshee Screams for Buffalo Meat, Acosta was a powerful attorney and preacher that suffered from addiction to amphetamines and LSD-25. The obituary conveys the sense that Acosta was a man who felt he would become a martyr and a messiah, but was brought down because he was unable to be either of them.
Acosta's son Marco said in an essay that his father was a fearless and committed fighter. Marco wrote, "He was often followed by the law during these violent times in Los Angeles in the early 70s. Friends of unpopular ideas are always held in suspicion. He used to warn me, knowing that such violence surrounded his life, to be prepared for the possibility that he might be gunned down by his adversaries. Even his own people betrayed him on occasion. Of course, all of this was deeply disturbing to me, but the riots, the violence, the arguing never seemed to bother him. He knew it was the price you had to pay for waging an unpopular war."
Marco also offered a lesson from his father. Marco wrote, "Despite the madness in his books, is it possible to garner some sense of hope and redemption from reading them? To see that women and men can elevate their humanity by overcoming all that resist them? I think it is. That is my father's ultimate legacy to me."
The Chicano movement included many issues ranging from restoration of land grants, to farm workers' rights, to better education, and to voting and political rights. Socially, the Chicano movement addressed the negative stereotypes of Mexicans in media. Oscar Zeta Acosta attempted to break down the barriers created by the media and defend the rights of the Chicano community through his active involvement in the movement, his life's work, and his legend immortalized by Thompson's books.